What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 21. We start this off with our scouting updates and an academy update as well as we officially enter December. As we know, yet to pick up anyone from the scouting updates so far this season, sending our scouts to Northern Ireland, Scotland, and of course staying in England as well. And I mentioned before, maybe it's because I have been specifying a player type this time around and the results haven't given me the caliber of player I'm looking for. As I have mentioned previously, I really do feel as though just specifying any type of player tends to give you better results on average. I really do believe that. But regardless, look at our academy as for now. We did put a couple of players in our academy there. The best ones remain the guys that we had at the end of last season. That's Clark, Welsh, and Bird as well. The guys we just added could be alright in the future, but I think Welsh is the guy I'm most excited about. 62 overall, 86-92 potential. That range appears to be set. And look at our fixtures for December. As you can see, 6 games coming. The Hammers, Sheffield United, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Newcastle United on Christmas Day, and then Leeds wrap up the month as well. And on the back of our win against Aston Villa in the last episode by 2-0, we want to close out December strong. We've had a much better first half of the campaign this season than we did last year. We still got some of the familiar problems we had last season, but as for now, we're sat in mid-table, and I've got to say, come the end of the season, if we stay where we are right now, just outside the top 10, I'll take that, absolutely. Still, first game was indeed David Moyes' West Ham. Heading into the game, we conceded right before the break from a long shot goal. We know how OP those are this year. And then 5 minutes after the restart, Antoine Griezmann at West Ham, denied by a brilliant save by David Raya, kept the score at 1-0 as our Spaniard ensures we're still in the game. A few minutes later, really should have levelled it. Rico Henry sent forward. He's been brilliant this season at creating several assists already this campaign, but firing wide as we were still down by a goal. But not long after that, 67 minutes into the game, Seb Jakobsen with the step overs and the finish as well. That was brilliant. Quick little counter attack from Brentford. You'll notice this season we're not doing as many counter attacks as possible. I'm trying to pick the situation more, if you will. Tend to play pass and possession based football and only break when I feel like the break is on. It certainly was there. Great ball by Carlin Grant, and then Seb Jakobsen. What a season he's having. Makes it 1-1 and we're back on level terms. In the second half, despite Griezmann's attempt, I feel we'd be the better team. And in stoppage time, as Ivan Toney tries to outpace Ryan Fredericks down the left-hand side. We had one late chance to win the game here as Toney turns Dawson, bends one and scores an absolutely brilliant goal to win it with the final kick of the game. Runs all the way to celebrate with me and the boys on the bench. It's the goal of the series by the shocker. Who else was it going to be? Ivan Toney wins the game with the final kick, and it's an absolute beauty from the former Peterborough United striker. Ivan Toney does it once again. That's his 7th goal in 15, averaging just under 1 in 2 this season. And that is the best of the lot so far this campaign. Massive turnaround victory against David Moyes' side. First Jakobsen with a wonderful little step overs, and then Toney with an absolute beauty from range, giving us the victory. And you know, I know we do have to downplay it slightly because as we talked about it, you know, the long shots in this game are just ridiculous, as we know they are. So OP. Goalkeepers tend to really misjudge the flight of the ball a lot as well. They just seem to have really poor vision when judging a shot on their goal from distance. So we do have to downplay it slightly. In previous FIFAs, that probably wouldn't have found a top corner. But hey, listen, I was going absolutely ballistic when it happened in real time. Goal of the series, no doubt about it. Ivan Toney gives us back-to-back victories and a big 3 points coming up clutch, as he often does. Still, with the second game of today's episode, going away from the Bramall Lane to take on newly promoted Sheffield United. And 3 minutes before the break, well, Toney and Gutierrez this season have been sharing the goals, and this one is for our Uruguayan forward. But give the credit to Ryan Niambe. Doesn't get given the assist for this goal, but he really should have done. Dives in, wins the ball first, fair tackle, deflects straight to Gutierrez, and Roberto Gutierrez drills it in and puts us in front right before the break here. at Bramall Lane. Unfortunately, our lead would not last too long. 4 minutes after the restart, John Fleck cannons one in from just outside the area, and that was how the game would finish. So 1 goal apiece either side of half-time, and a draw there away at Bramall Lane. Disappointing that game as well. I really couldn't do much. You would have seen a possession there. I had like 65% of it. I had like 235 passes, and I mentioned before, like, this season we've changed our play style. We're not primarily a counter-attacking team. We'll play the situation and break when we think it's on, but for the most part, I'm just keeping hold of the ball and retaining possession. But sometimes that comes at the expense of a lot of chances. Certainly did in that game. They had to settle for a 1-1 draw against one of the struggling sides this season. Still, following that third game of today's episode, Crystal Palace here back at the Community Stadium. Had the first 2 chances of the game. That header by Tony cleared off the line as we were still tied at 0-0, but really went on the offensive against Patrick Vieira's side to start this game off, because we have been scoring a lot more goals this season. I mentioned the primary reason why is changing the half length to 6 minutes, and 29 minutes in, Rico Henry storming down the left hand side, whips one into the middle, and there's Brian Mbeumo, his first goal of this season. I just can't get it sorted with Mbeumo. He's one of the best players in this team, but he's playing out of his primary position through the middle and not on the wings, because we don't play with wingers. I'm not playing him up top anymore like we did in the early stage of last season, but he's still such a good player. I wish I could get him sorted in the attacking midfield role. Regardless, he makes it 1-0, and in the second half here, 13 minutes to go, he's done it once again. 2-2 for the goal machine, 3-4. Roberto Gutierrez drills it in after going through 1-on-1 and wraps up the points. 2-0 victory over Crystal Palace, but you see the boys celebrating in the back line there. A clean sheet. You know, I mentioned before, defensively, I started off last year defending really, really well. Then once I did change the half length to 6 minutes, not quite as much, but every now and then I can play some lockdown defense. Crystal Palace got no chance at all in that game. Really strong and solid backline effort there in a 2-0 victory. And the good run of form continues for Sheffield United. 3 wins in our last 4 games. No losses in our last 4 games. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good right now as we slowly climb up the table. So, following that, we saw as we're midway through the set, we've got a risk of losing 2 players, and those are Matthias Jensen and Tariq Fosu as well. Now, Fosu's barely played at all this season. He's had very few minutes whatsoever, and again, the main reason why is because he just doesn't fit our system. We play a 5-3-2, so getting him game time is just almost impossible in this system. And as for Matthias Jensen, I like Jensen, to be fair. I think as a backup midfielder, whenever he does play, he puts in a pretty solid effort. Like, his range of passing is very good, rarely gives the ball away, but to be honest here, I think we could look for younger and better options. I think we need to be forward thinking with Brentford. Both of those players are decent players. They're not bad at all, but I think we could do better. So I'm probably going to let their contracts run down. If they choose to sign for a club in January on a pre-contract, then they leave come the end of the season, and fair enough. Otherwise, I'll let them play for a contract. And if either of them do very well between now and the end of the season, they've not agreed to go elsewhere, then I'll consider offering them new deals. Still following that, staying in the Community Stadium, now taking on Southampton, Ralph Hasenhutl's side. This is a goalless draw here, so back-to-back clean sheets. Another game without defeats as well. And once again, defended incredibly well in this game. The Saints not getting a single chance in the entire match. We once again played lockdown defense. The only bad news is that Big Chris went down towards the end of the game and he's done for 3 months. Yes, he broke his toe, and I'm gutted about this as well, because the Norwegian centre-half has been ever present in this Brentford team. And obviously we've changed a lot of the personnel in this squad, particularly as part of our back 3 lineup here. You know, Ethan Pinnock, Pontus Jansson, Tuanzebe and Metham coming in, Sean Pratt out of the academy. But the one player that's always been consistent in our back 3 is Big Chris. He's played every single minute of the season so far, up until getting forced off there against Southampton with a broken toe. So that's gutting. If we were going to lose any of our centre-halves, that's the one we didn't want to lose. He's the best. He's only 24 years old. He seems like the most steady of all of our centre-backs, so he's gone for 3 months. I think Metham will fill in for the meantime, but that's a big, big blow there, losing our Norwegian centre-back. Still, for the final game of today's episode, and what has been a really good run for Brentford. Back-to-back clean sheets, no defeats in our last 5. Now going away from home to take on Steve Bruce's Magpies here. Well, for now, Steve Bruce's Magpies, but as we know, there's a lot of rumours he'll be getting sacked imminently after the takeover was completed recently. Taking on Newcastle United on Christmas Day. I wanted the 3 points under the tree for me as we continue to rise up the table. The Magpies took the lead, but we levelled it through that man, of course, Ivan Toney, coming back to his old stomping ground and getting us back on level terms. Then in the second half, Josh De Silva with an absolute beauty. And I've mentioned many times before, but if you can't break the AI down, guys, don't be afraid to go for goal from range. Long shots are so OP. You'll pretty much always hit the target, and oftentimes find the back of net. Great finish though by the former Arsenal midfielder. We're in front for the first time in the game, looking to close out a massive 3 points here. But how about this for a brilliant piece of dribbling by another former Arsenal player? Joe Willock splits like 3 or 4 yellow shirts, runs all the way to celebrate with Brucey. I don't think player support is going to keep him in the job though. I think the takeover, I think that's for sure now Bruce is going. But even so, he puts Newcastle back on level terms, 2-2. And in a bit of a thriller on Christmas Day, 2-2 was indeed the final score. Kelechi and Willock with the goals for the Magpies, Toney and De Silva for us. A 2-2 draw. And I'll take that. It's now no losses in our last 6 games. Really good run of form for Brentford. And don't look now, but halfway through the season, and the Bees are in a Europa Conference League spot and only a point behind the Gunners in the Europa League spot. 27 goals to start the season off in 19 games, far better than last season and well clear of West Ham in 18th place, 8 points clear of them right now at the halfway point in the campaign. Lukaku and Tielemans, the Belgians, leading the way in the race to the Golden Boot, but Gutierrez is not too far behind, double digits for him with 10. Ivan Toney's got 8 himself, so 18 of our goals so far have been scored by our strike duo. Rico Henry, by the way, 5 assists already this season. This was a great start in terms of setting them up. Tony's also there with 4 as well. And David Raya is only 1 clean sheet behind the Manchester goalkeepers in the race for the Golden Glove. Halfway through the season, and Brentford right now are looking very healthy indeed. But that was this episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you had, then please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode featuring the start of the January transfer window very soon.